back to my channel. Today I am bringing you another study with me as A-levels have already built up and I am not organised. So on this particular day I got up and opened my curtains and just sat in bed for a bit. And then I turned on my fairy lights so my room was more aesthetically pleasing. And this day I had just got so much homework which I hadn't done in the week, which I needed to do on that Sunday before the next week. So I went off for a shower as per usual. I love a good shower in the morning, makes me more motivated. I got myself some breakfast and I'd done some work the night before which I hadn't finished, so I was going to finish that. And it was about 10:05 at this time, so I sorted out my desk and prepared myself to do some work. So I wrote out a to-do list of all the homework which I needed to do, which was a lot. I really regret not doing that. And I was trying out a new tea today, which was Clipper English breakfast. Wasn't too keen on it, but hey ho. I typed in a timer on my laptop for half an hour so I could sit and eat my breakfast and drink my tea for half an hour and just watch YouTube before I did work, because I really just wasn't feeling it. So I put on half an hour and I allowed myself to watch some YouTube because I do love a bit of YouTube. So I just ate my breakfast, typical granola, basically no milk because I cannot stand milk, and my English breakfast tea, which I think I made too strong, but I really like Clipper tea so I had high expectations. But I just sat and ate this for the half an hour and I think I actually finished eating a bit earlier and I was bored, so I just started my work early. Oh my god, what happened? After I had my little YouTube sesh, I logged on to Show My Homework, my favourite website, and then I just got up all the homeworks I needed to do because I wasn't too sure what I'd been doing. And then I got up Spotify and I put on concentration songs because they helped me so much. Like, I used to listen to music and I was fine, but when I started listening to study music I then couldn't do it anymore. So this is kind of a video of me the night before I filmed this video, kind of starting the homework and not finishing it, and leaving it to finish that day. So I had to finish that. Basically, this is history. These were SMAD notes. That doesn't make any sense. But basically, it's about the GDR, and I had to answer some questions from the textbook on a sheet from the information in the textbook. That literally made no sense. So I just finished that off quickly. Only took me about 10 minutes as I'd already done most of it, and it wasn't too hard. And after I'd done that, I just ticked it off my to-do list with a highlighter. I don't actually tick it, I highlight it, but yeah. And then my teacher had given me 2 homeworks and he'd given us some reading, and I absolutely hate reading and I've only done 2 reading homeworks. But basically we had to read this thing about the merging of KPD and SPD, don't even know what that is, and do advantages and disadvantages. So I kind of highlighted the disadvantages and advantages in 2 different colours. So I read it first and highlighted, so when I go back and write the notes I only write notes on the bits that I've highlighted it, so it kind of helps me summarise a bit. But when I'm reading it I don't know what's important. But I did a table of 2 columns, one for advantages, one for disadvantages of this merging thingy-mabob, and that took me about an hour. I'm not sure really, but the text was quite difficult to read because it was very wordy. And then I went through my advantages and disadvantages and just highlighted the main points, so that I kind of had gone over it 3 times, wrote it, read it, highlighted it, and that was that done. So tick that off as usual, and I put that into my history folder, which is very empty at the minute, and I shut that and put it in my bookshelf because I've got 2 history teachers, so that was one of the teachers' homeworks done. And then as a little break I kind of organised my maths notes. That's not a break, but they needed organising and I kind of like doing that because it's quite practical. So I'm doing mechanics and pure at the moment. I haven't started stats yet. So I made a mechanics and a pure folder and I kind of organised it with some dividers, and I put some titles on with some sticky notes, which is what you can see me doing here, and I took some notes from my day folder into my leather arch folders. I don't know how to say that. I'm so bad at voiceovers, guys, in case you've never noticed. Yeah. And I've kind of given up with the day folder because teachers keep wanting folder checks and all that. I'm going to do probably a video on how I'm finding sixth form, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But basically I organised these and put the questions in the folder and hole punched everything and just put all my maths right. And then some of my maths homework I wasn't going to get completed that day, so I put it forwards to my free period on the Monday morning to do then. So I kind of ticked that off even though I hadn't done it. And then I put my music back on, although I needed to finish some politics notes because that isn't too timing that wouldn't take too long, I put on the Harry Potter soundtrack because kind of like that recently. So I wrote some things on this table which I hadn't finished in class, and this took me like 2 minutes. No, more like 10 minutes, but I just hadn't finished it and I needed to finish the sheet, otherwise it would have annoyed me. After finishing that, I just hole punched it and put it into my folder, and I highlighted it off my list, and this is kind of how the table looks when it was done. And I had to fold it over because it was A3, so I put a little sticky note to label it. And this was one of my homeworks which I was really proud of. I thought I'd show you, don't know why. But my teacher had also set me this huge set of reading and I had to make notes on it, and honestly this took me hours. I don't even know, it was terrible. But I started off, we only had to make notes on 5 of the sections, so I read the section, highlighted the important parts of the section, and then I took notes off the highlighted parts, so I wasn't doing too much. But it was really hard to get into the notes because they were just the reading was just so dense and heavy, and it was just hard to read. But I made notes, and I should have made them more concise than I did, because when I went to the class, everyone had made less notes than me almost. But at least when I go back I'll understand it more and I won't have to read that sheet ever again. So that's all great. So I did my provisional government notes and I highlighted those. Took me so long. I posted a picture of this on my new STUDYGRAM. I'm trying out STUDYGRAM and seeing if I actually stick to it and like it. And I remember putting the caption, "This is killing me." So yeah, I was not having a good time. I sometimes like making notes, but not from this level of because it's all new and confusing. So I finished my provisional government notes. So I moved on to the land question, I think it was called. Yeah. So this is kind of the reading and then my notes. Could have wrote less, but hey ho. They were aesthetically pleasing enough for me. And then I made a little sticky note of all the titles and ticked them off because I didn't realise how much I had to do. And then I moved on to the third section, which was the Kornilov affair, I think. Must have been. Anyway, that was kind of interesting, but then I still didn't really get it because it's very heavy. But I don't know exactly what I need to know, so I kind of just wrote down a bit of everything, but more briefly. I ended up kind of getting into the swing of this. Oh, by the way, this was like 6 o'clock, so this wasn't even the morning anymore. This is how long it took me. So I probably already had tea by this time and lunch, which was ages ago, and I didn't mention, I'm very sorry. And I ticked off the Kornilov affair. This is when I went to have tea, so I got back a lot later and I had a shower because I couldn't focus. So it was dark by now. I completely forgot about the timing. I had my shower and then I was kind of more focused. This was about 9:10 and I had 2 more sections to do and school was the next day and I was like, oh, but I did them. And I feel like I work a lot faster at this time of night, even though I hate working in the evening. So I got these done quite quickly, and as you can see, I ended up spending this whole day doing history when I was meant to do maths and psychology as well, but I managed to finish both of those in my free period the next morning because I have 1 free period in the week and it's Monday morning, but it's a very long free period, so it's fine. And then I finished those notes finally, and I highlighted them, and that was the best feeling of my life. So once I'd highlighted them, I kind of packed up my pencil case, packed up my bag because I did have school the next day. I put all the sheets into my folder, and that was literally a whole day's work. Like honestly, I need to learn to take notes faster and more concise. So if you guys have any tips, please help me. I need it. But I put those into my folder, and I was so satisfied with them. Well, I was really happy with them, and then I treasured them with my life because I spent a day doing them. It was only meant to take 2 hours and it took like 5, but hey ho, can't have it all. And I ended up having to put the concentration music on towards the end of the day because the Harry Potter music just kept distracting me. And then I packed up my folder and put it in my bag because I think I had history the next day. And then I went to bed because I was shattered and I literally had done history all day. So I got into bed and I read The Girl on the Train for like 10 minutes because I couldn't be bothered to read. But I do like to read because it winds me down from being on my phone or whatever I've been doing. And I went to bed and I was very happy to be in bed. It had been a long day. after I finished reading, I just put my book down by the side of my bed, and I got into bed and got all comfy, and then I turned off my fairy lights so that I could actually sleep, because you know that's what you do. And yeah, I went to sleep. It was a very nice sleep until I woke up the next morning for school. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week for a new video. Bye!